Hi guys, did you have ever seen a 3D printed QR code? Here is the one, and I'm going to share with you how to make it on your own. You are watching Obtainium. Hi. So, in this video we are going to see how we can make our own 3D printed QR code. Just to show you that, I have taken my own Insta ID QR code and I'm going to convert it. So I have that JPG of QR code and I'm converting that JPG into a DXF file by the help of some online converters. So I just googled it and you can see I'm using that online converter, so you can same use that. Okay, now after that converting into the DXF file, I'm going to import that file into the Autodesk Fusion 360. Autodesk Fusion 360 is a CAD software in which we are going to convert our QR code to a solid body so that we can 3D print it. Basically we are adding a thickness in that 2D file, a 2D image. So here I am just importing that file from the file menu. Just go to the file menu and open any file, just similarly like the MS Word or any other software. So here I imported that JPG image, that DXF file, and now we are going to measure the size of this image, which is our first priority. So right now I'm going to use this inspect toolbar, and after that I'll select the top and bottom edges to measure the distance. So here we are selecting those edges and you can see the distance is 377 mm, but I want to make it to the 50 mm. So basically I'm going to scale it down and reducing its entire size without altering the geometry. So to calculate the scaling factor, I basically divided the 50 by 377, and by that you can obtain the value of 0.31266. And I'm just going to use the scale command and selecting all the entire sketch and reducing it to this bottom point with respect to this bottom point. So I'm just entering that scaling factor 0.13266 and clicking OK. So you can see on the screen we basically reduced the entire sketch as per our required dimensions. So here we are going to measure the edges again. You can see it's 50 mm. I just want to make the QR code very handy to carry in your pockets, or maybe you can alter the shape with whatever shape you like. So I am going to make this into the square shape. After that we'll be selecting all the closed sections just to increase their height, right, to add a particular thickness in those sections. And meanwhile you can see this. Maybe you need to open the JPG image separately on some other screen or maybe in your phone, just to check which of the boxes you need to select. Although there are some other ways, but we are not going to use that. On this screen you can also check. After selecting those, I am just scanning that QR code through my phone and it's working. So this is another way to cross check that the boxes you have selected are correct or not. So now I'm going to add the thickness of 1 mm to all the sections, or to all the bodies. As you can see on the screen, I'm just adding the thickness 1 mm, and here the entire sections are converted into a solid body. Now selecting the back side, we are basically going to create a panel over which all these sub shapes are connected. So here I am adding the square shape. Maybe you can add a ellipse, circle, or some other shape, or some star shape, or random shape, whatever shape which you want to like. Okay, so here I'm just giving the offset distance to create some separation. So I'm adding the 6 mm, the separation distance between those edges between the QR code and the outer boundary. After finishing the sketch, I'm going to select the entire plane and that little section in between, and again extruding it on the backward side. I'm extruding it backward by the amount of 2 mm, and make sure the operation should be selected as join, because we want to merge all the bodies in one single body. And you can see we have created a solid body, a solid plane over which the entire QR sections are generated. Now I'm going to add the fillets over the corners just to make them aesthetically more appealing. Selecting all these corners one by one. So I am adding this dimension 5 mm. It seems pretty good, but I think increasing it to 10 mm maybe will look more better. Yeah, it's looking good. So it's looking good to me. Maybe in your design you can alter that. So now I'm going to select the upper plane side and generating the offset image to create the outer boundary. So I've used the offset command in the sketch section to create the boundary. I'm basically selected the dimension of 1 mm to create an offset. The best thing about this software that just by a single sketch it can separate a particular face into two parts. So I'm selecting the outer face to extrude. So we'll select this extrude command, and after that we'll be extruding the outer section by the amount of 1 mm. So the entire body will be of total height of 3 mm, out of which the 2 mm is the base and upper 1 mm section is of the QR code, right? Now it's turn to add a particular hook for a keychain, just to make it handy. Maybe you can add some other shape. Maybe you can add a particular area to add your name or some other thing. So here I'm going to add a diagonal in between because I am adding the hook at a particular corner and I want it to be symmetric along the diagonal. So here I am making a line, and this line will be parallel to the diagonal. Similarly, adding another line at the from the corner of the fillet. Right now I'm just creating the entire geometry. Now I'll be going to add the circle. Make sure that circle is coincident over the diagonal, so that it will lie in the symmetry region. The half of the circle will be on the bottom side and half on the another side of the diagonal. And I have used the trim command to remove the inside side of the circle. Now I've added this circle from where we will be adding our keychain. I'm giving the dimension it to 6 mm. All the dimensions are subjected to your choice. You can change as per your requirements. So basically I'm just checking all the constraints of the body of the sketch, and here now I'm adding the dimensions just to the final dimension, which explains the center distance between the extreme corner of the body to the center of the circle. Just checking that the entire sketch is correct or not, and here we found one error, that the constraints are not good. So basically now I'm going to add the constraints with respect of in between the circle and the line. Make sure the circle is properly constrained with the lines by adding by coinciding the point with the edge of the line, and also make sure that the circle must be tangent with these two lines. Now altering the dimension, and it's done. So after finishing the sketch, I'm going to select the entire closed section and extruding it to the upper side by the amount of 2 mm. And make sure it could be selected as joint because we want to create entirely a single body. And now I'm going to add a fillet to the corners of this hook. Again, the radius is subjected to your choice because we are not making some of a very high strength kind of thing. So in this entire fillet selection of the dimensions as per your aesthetic looks, as per the aesthetic looks of this QR code. And here you can see the QR code is ready to be 3D printed. So now I'm going to save this file, and further we need to convert this file to the STL file, this CAD model to the STL version, and for that you need to save this to the cloud, that is the Autodesk cloud directory, and I'm saving that. and after that you can directly export this file into the STL file. Here you can see that in the file menu you can export that into the STL version. It will take some time to convert because the entire conversion will be done on the cloud. As I've already saved, it's just popping up the save as message, and now you can see it's completed. So there is one another way. You can directly 3D print, select the 3D print command from the Fusion 360, and there are some predefined slicing softwares, but I'm using this idea maker because to print this entire CAD model I'm using Race 3D Pro 2, which is available in the Idea Lab. And by just selecting this you can just open the STL model directly into the Idea Maker software, which is pre-installed in your system. So you need to pre-install these apps in your system. After that Fusion will be capable to call those apps. So here I'm just ignoring that error message right now, and I have selected to print this entire body by the help of this left extruder. But yes, we are going to use these modifiers because we want to print this entire QR code in 2 different colors. So basically I'm going to add the upper QR code body by the red color and the bottom base by the white color. So I'm basically adding a QR code, adding a modifier in this area. By the help of modifier we can alter the settings, we can define in this entire file that which area we want to print from which extruder. So I have this we have already uploaded the red color in the right extruder and white in the left extruder. So by the help of this modifier we have defined that whatever area the modifier is covering, it must be printed by the right extruder, which is of red color. So I'm just lifted the entire modifier by the amount of 2.1 mm in the upper height, as you can see, so that only the upper layers of the QR code must be printed by different color, otherwise all the things will be printed by the white color. Just cross checking that, and now I'm using the predefined templates of the Idea Maker software. Idea Maker is available online, you can use that software. So here's the time, and we're just going to see the preview. So here is the preview. You can just change the view to the extruder color view by selecting the bottom pop-up menu, and here you can see the entire sections which we have extruded is printed. It will be printing by the red color as per our settings which we have defined. So directly jumping to the 3D printing, here you can see I have printed the QR code in 2 colors. That is, one is the base one is of blue, another base is of white, and out of these 2, white one is working very fine. So this is entirely about this 3D printing QR code. So this is my first ever video on the YouTube, so in case if I have done any mistake, then please try to forgive me, and if you like this video very informative, then please consider to like and subscribe and share with your friends so that maybe they'll enjoy. Thank you, thanks a lot, hope to see you again. Thank you.